Hey everyone. So today's practice is called Lectio Divina, which means a divine reading or a sacred reading. It's a very common practice in monasteries today, and it goes back to the 4th or the 5th centuries when people used to go out to the desert to pray and to be alone, and they would practice this form of prayer. In this practice, you listen with your heart to the sacred text for what you hear being said to you through the text. And the practice includes 4 moments: reading, reflecting on, responding to, and resting in. The aim of this practice is to nourish and deepen your relationship with God, moving from acquaintanceship to friendship to communion with God. So we'll take a few moments first to grow aware and present where we are. So wherever you are, if you're seated in a chair or on the floor, straighten your back, make yourself a little bit more comfortable, and take a breath from your belly. And breathe out. Another breath. Breathe out. You may want to try, like we did last week with your palms, putting your palms out in front of you and focusing your attention on your palms. Focusing your attention on the centermost point of your palms. Feeling the sensation from your palms. Allowing it to bring you to a moment of presence. You may want to take some stock of what you can see, or smell, or hear, or taste, or touch in these moments. Find something that works for you to slowly just become more present and aware right now. And we will acknowledge the presence of the Holy Spirit right now. Take a moment to do that, to acknowledge the presence of Holy Spirit. Breathe in, breathe out, focusing your attention on your breath. Maybe you're noticing the point in your nose where the breath flows through as you breathe in, and it leaving your mouth as you exhale. The second movement of the practice is to read the sacred text. So I'll read the text and you can follow along. Jesus visits Martha and Mary. Now, as they went on their way, he entered a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. She had a sister named Mary who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what he was saying. But Martha was distracted by her many tasks. So she came to him and asked, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her then to help me." But the Lord answered her, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted by many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, which will not be taken away from her." And as we read, you'll want to listen for a word or a phrase that you hear being spoken to you through the text. So as I read again, listen for a word or a phrase that you hear being spoken to you. Something that stands out to you, that you notice, that speaks to you. Now, as they went on their way, he entered a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed Jesus into her home. She had a sister named Mary who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what he was saying. But Martha was distracted by her many tasks. So she came to him and asked, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her then to help me." But the Lord answered her, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted by many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, which will not be taken away from her." Take some time now to meditate upon this word or phrase that you hear God speaking to you. You may want to repeat the word or the phrase several times. Allow yourself to go with your mind into your heart. Simply ponder the word or the phrase, rather than trying to understand what it means. The next movement or moment of the prayer is to share your heartfelt response to God. As you have meditated upon this word or phrase that you heard God speaking to you, now take it some time to respond to God, to speak back to God. Enter into the dialogue that God has initiated with you. You may have questions. You may want to thank Him. Share your heartfelt, the response that you feel in your heart with God. Share it with God. And the fifth and the final movement or moment in the prayer is to rest in your experience with the sacred text with a grateful heart. You may want to thank God for speaking to you. You may simply want to silently be grateful for this time as you have moved from acquaintanceship with God to friendship with God to communion with God. You may want to be grateful for a nourished and deepened relationship with God. You may simply want to be grateful for the chance to have listened to God speak and for the opportunity to speak back. As we conclude the prayer, you may want to take a moment or two to take a few deep breaths, breathing in and out, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth, and slowly coming back to youth.